The question is, was Tacitus? They say obviously Tacitus wrote this, but they're saying, was his was his sources Christians, or was it, independent, verifiable sources? Yeah, well, like I say, a lot of things which people just assume to be true, it's based on far less evidence, one way or the other. But even if it is from Christian sources, he got his information. It is at the point of view of the information of Christians, the powerful movement, not religion, movement, identified at the time, and that narrative. So it's a Pauline narrative in as much as the the church in Rome was pushing that point of view, but what Paul did, if you look carefully, is he perverted the meaning of the narrative of the crucifixion. People misunderstand. People misunderstand when I say break every cross, which I will do to the Muslims and stuff. I'm destroying the religion of Paul. I'm not saying this nonsense that is unverifiable and cannot be supported by any other information that Judas took the place of Jesus and Jesus ascended because my male ego can't cope with a a self-sacrifice and a humiliation and a humbleness. Like I say, I have to humble myself many times in many circumstances throughout my life, just like that, and suck it up. Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. I mean, most of the time you should do, because there's a fault in the male condition if you don't, and you start believing your own bullshit and faking everything and convincing yourself you're gods and you made yourselves. Like I say, I'm a scriptwriter, and that's what I tried to tell you from the start. When I said, way before I thought the angels came back and told me I was Jesus, but I started thinking, oh my God, I'm the last person left in the entire world still debunking 322 scripted media events. Why is that? Well, because they were all killed, and it's impossible to kill me, as I've been told. I do as you please. I've got a do as you please message from British intelligence, as critical as they are. Like I say, yeah, it's this is the time. This is the appointed time. It really is happening. Obviously, if there is a creator, that creator is going to have his book everywhere. It's the best-selling book. I'm talking about it again. There's lots of forgeries made, and lots of people who couldn't cope with a self-sacrificing creator. You just really just all absolutely vile. Yeah, you've got a creator that was prepared to partake in suffering because, and to demonstrate that, because we live in a world where innocent people suffer, which is what a noble, surely. And I don't want to glorify myself here, but surely you can understand that that's what the best possible type of creator would do. If they were going to create a yin and a yang and a necessary contrast between experiences caused by pain and suffering, which is, like I say, just there is no other way that, at least for a period of time, like I say, until we create everything so there's no more pain and suffering, but you still have to have that memory of that dualistic experience. Otherwise, you can't experience. there's no true experience without a contrast to measure it against. Okay, I'll speak to you later. So really thinking about it now, everyone's really misunderstood or not picked up on the subtleties and the nuances of the things that I've done over the years. I've said before, it's on private now, but I said before on I'm an anti-war activist, but for those men and women now in the armed service who love me, I'm not going to let them down just because they're in the armed service and I'm against. Armed services. Of course not. So, like I say, it's the 322 people that have let down America. It's nothing at all I can do about it, apart from constantly request that they come to their senses and, crucify their ego, which is just, like I say, monstrous. Remember how big it became, that Black Eagle? I don't know if you've read my original testimony, but... the Pope holds the golden cup in the air, and his ego, which is a imperial bird of political power, an imperial bird of political power ferocious and cruel and crazy, maddening. Look at that tongue coming out of the eagle of the Holy Roman Empire. Do you see what it's supposed to represent? A sort of maddening arrogance. Yes, an arrogance that makes you mad. Get it now? Yeah, all the nations have drunk her wine, so all the nations have gone mad. What's made them mad? Arrogance, political imperial arrogance. So that maddening, that waggling tongue, that's what I saw from the little priest, who was the first Satan that approached me that day in 1982 in vision on the papal mass. Like he was towering above me, trying to dominate me, the little shit. Yeah, yeah, he was. He was really getting off on, like I say, he was getting off on the idea of dominating me. Now, why would I create? And he told me it was my fault that I was a prophet, yeah, and everyone else was Jesus. So why would I, tolerate your existence? do you understand? See, men have completely lost the marbles. They can't reason or ration or anything. So, like I say, it's God versus man, or goddess versus man, because the perfect image of Sophia is me and Emma Watson. That's the future, and no matter how much you protest, it's going to happen, and it already has. So, is it to my ego versus man's ego, and who's going to win out of our egos? Who's going to outbluff the other one? Well, considering you got nothing to bluff against, bluff me with, but you haven't quite grasped that yet. Perhaps. It's going to take a few bursts from the sun. Okay, piss off. Sales calls, spam calls, fuck off. Spam calls from Manchester. Get them all the time. Right, so, yeah. That's gospel, like I say, 65 AD. To demonstrate the power of the Holy Spirit in bringing back to remembrance